Every second, the sun blasts our solar system with a staggering amount of raw radiation. But as biological machines, we have a major problem. We cannot absorb that energy directly to fuel our bodies. This creates the core divide of survival. On one side are the organisms capable of capturing light to synthesize their own chemical compounds. On the other side are the organisms forced to acquire those compounds from others to survive. These universal food providers are the autotrophs. They possess the unique ability to capture solar energy and use it to build complex, energy-rich compounds like carbohydrates and lipids. Then there are heterotrophs, including human beings. Because we lack the cellular hardware to harvest sunlight, our survival depends on a constant cycle of ingesting and dismantling the complex compounds built by plants. Every calorie we burn is a link in a continuous transfer. Nutrition is essentially a high-stakes pipeline of energy that begins with a star and ends with the survival of a cell. To fully understand how that solar energy is first captured, we have to look inside the leaves of a green plant. The process begins as the plant pulls in simple inorganic materials, water from the soil and carbon dioxide from the air. Materials channel into chloroplasts, the precise site of energy synthesis. Inside the granistax, photon energy splits water molecules, called photolysis, releasing oxygen. In the stroma fluid, this energy combines hydrogen and carbon dioxide, synthesizing a stable molecule of glucose. It took humankind centuries of experimentation, from the 17th century water tests of Van Helmont to the 20th century bacterial studies of C.B. van Niel, to properly define this chemical equation. The result of this plant factory, carbohydrates like glucose and starch, is the foundational biobattery that powers the rest of the living world. Once a human ingests this complex plant starch, the body has to solve the reverse problem. It must radically deconstruct these massive molecules to absorb the energy locked inside. The alimentary canal acts as a sequential processing plant. The deconstruction begins in the mouth, where teeth mechanically crush the food and mix it with saliva to create a wetted, slippery mass called a bolus. This bolus is transported down the esophagus by peristaltic movement, automatic wave-like muscular contractions that force the food into the stomach's churning, acidic environment. Chemical dismantling is carried out by enzyme proteins like amylase and pepsin, designed to bind to specific molecular bonds and snap long nutrient chains. In the small intestine, liver bile juices emulsify large fat clusters, physically breaking them into microglobules for final processing. In the final phase, these simplified molecules are absorbed through the intestinal microvilli, microscopic finger-like projections that transport the nutrients directly into the bloodstream. Through this process, the human digestive tract functions as a master reverse engineering facility, transforming complex plant architectures back into the usable cellular fuel our bodies require. But what happens to the human machine when this highly calibrated deconstruction line is deprived of specific raw materials? Protein malnutrition leads to conditions like Kwashiorkor, where the lack of amino acids causes fluid to accumulate in the spaces between cells, leading to severe swelling and poor muscle development. When there is a total deficiency in both proteins and calories, the body enters marasmus. This leads to extreme wasting and dry skin, as the body's metabolic processes are starved of the fuel needed to maintain basic tissue. Ultimately, microscopic deficits in vitamins can paralyze vital functions. Without these specific organic substances, the body loses its ability to clot blood, heal wounds, or maintain the structural integrity of its bones. Because we cannot synthesize these essential micronutrients internally, our entire physiological stability depends on successfully acquiring them from the external energy pipeline. Ultimately, our survival is an act of symbiosis. Every thought we have and every movement we make is irrevocably tethered to the chemical output of the autotrophic world and the ancient energy of the sun.